Hi, everybody. Give us 1 second. Paul wants to inspect something real quick.
That is an attractive woman. Sorry about that.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Alt+Tab show. It is Friday, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and you guys are here in our chat room watching us, so thank you guys very much for doing that. I am here with Paul. How you doing, Paul?
Hi, everyone. I'm doing great, Steve. Thank you for asking, and thank you all from me, too, for also being here. I feel like Rocco.
Can we just start this again?
I feel like that was like something like Rocco would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can't really live up to the standards of Rocco. No sound. I hear. I hear no sound.
No audio.
Audio is out of sync with video.
Fantastic.
Half a second. That should not be the case.
That shouldn't be the case. Yep, restart the stream real quick, guys, reload into it. We're going to wait for you guys to do that because that's the kind of hosts that we are. And also because I'm just sort of buying my time right now.
So they're restarting the stream, not us.
We're restarting the stream.
Oh, okay, good. I thought you said refresh their stream.
No,
yes.
Never mind. We'll do, you guys sit tight.
Let me try and use my shortcut again. Cut has been used to allow us to launch this. So anyways, hopefully that's going to fix the audio issue you guys had. Twitch chat has been loading it up again for Ches. Ches, it's not loaded yet for you guys. So we're going to continue going anyways, just in case it hasn't. Paul, what have you been up to, man? What are you doing?
Hey, Steve. I'm doing good. Been pretty busy lately. I got some new motherboards and stuff coming out soon, so we've been doing a lot of coverage on those.
Nice.
Coming should be next week. If you guys are interested, keep your eye on our Newegg TV YouTube channel.
Very cool.
Did you mean to say last weekend?
Yes. Well, anything you've been up to in general. You could include the weekend or the whole week. I know you've been really busy,
I would love to include the weekend, Steve. I spent a fair amount of time this past weekend making a video about the Fractal Design Node 804.
I've seen this video.
Little micro ATX computer case. That's up on my personal YouTube channel if you guys want to check it out. youtube.com/paulshardware. And it's a cool little case.
It's a really good video too. You did a really good job. I really like the way you did that vertigo shot where you kind of move forward on the slider and you zoom out right on the case and you show them.
I loves me a dolly zoom.
Yeah, it's so nice.
Those are exciting. It's hard to do that by yourself though, because you gotta like do the thing with
the timing's got to be just right, right?
It's a weird hand motion that you wouldn't normally do, except outside of certain circumstances. But
very cool.
We're getting too far off topic, Steve. What did you do this past weekend? That is what I want to know. Well, you know what I really wanted to do this past weekend was like hang out with some cool people and play video games.
Dude.
But I didn't. But nobody invited me to do anything like that.
You liar.
Okay.
So yes, we in fact we did invite you, Ryan Shroud included.
I said no.
Yes, you did, because you had to build something, but you decided instead of building something, you'd film something, which is equally good. I mean,
it took too much time on the one thing. I couldn't do the other thing. That's how it goes.
So yes, I did want to mention that I was able to play in a virtual LAN. Paul was invited. Unfortunately, he was busy and he had to decline. But it was awesome. I actually got to play with Jeremy Hallstrom, both him and Ryan Shroud, both from PC Perspective. If you guys are familiar with them, had a little virtual LAN this weekend, and it's awesome because unlike a typical LAN where you actually have to lug all of your components to a said location and play a video game in maybe the not best conditions of playing a video game, we were able to do it virtually, and it was awesome actually. We played Unreal Tournament 2004, which is, yes, it's quite a throwback game. It was fun though, and they had a nice little server. It was set up for 16 people. We actually had so many people at the LAN that they had to double it to 32 in order to get everybody to be able to play, which was awesome. There was a ton of prizes too, I should mention that. Way more than they anticipated getting. In fact,
more prizes or more people?
More prizes, and the amount of people was much more
people.
Yeah, than they anticipated. So I want to say it was around like 75 people that took place in the LAN, but that probably changed over the day. I remember seeing about like 50 or 60 people on the TeamSpeak server at any given time, split up between different channels, playing different games. But they gave away like 25 FX 8350 processors, man.
Wow.
Yes.
25?
Yes. It was nuts. It was absolutely nuts. And now, don't expect that to happen at every single LAN, obviously. In fact, they wanted everybody to know that this is totally unprecedented. They don't expect this to happen in the future LANs that they have, but they were extremely excited about it. And I think that we're going to see some more sponsorships coming in, because I actually talked to some other manufacturers about possibly joining in. I haven't talked to them yet about it, but I've talked to the manufacturers about the LAN, and we'll see. We'll see what happens, Ryan. I'm looking out for you guys.
All right.
That should be really cool.
That was Steve's Shroud out to Ryan Shroud.
Yes,
That's trademark me, by the way. I've used that term before. when they did their FCAT testing for the first time. I don't know if Ryan Shroud has actually acknowledged that I gave him a shout out, or if he's aware that that exists. But I think he should be made aware of it. So
yes, I totally agree.
Soon enough, I'm sure.
And before we go much further into the stories, I actually want to say, if you guys are interested in doing that, just register here at the forums.pcper.com. That is their forums where you can actually meet up with the Fragging Frogs. That's like their gaming clan that is associated with PCper. Awesome guys, by the way, and they'll play all week. So you can actually jump into their forums, get registered, get to know them, jump into the TeamSpeak and play some games. And I've jumped in there from time to time, and it's been really fun.
Nice.
So, yes, so moving right along.
Actually, before we get into the stories, I have a question from chat already.
Oh, good.
But if you guys want to ask us questions throughout the stream, we'll be periodically checking the chat room, so of course hang out in there. You can also tweet to myself or Steve. We got our Twitter handles down in these areas over there. But the question is, what's with the picture of Bill Gates in the background? Not Bill Gates. Wait, let's wait for the bell.
Yeah, the bell makes this all so much more fun.
The interminably long bell. And it's still going.
I wanted to just do like a single gesture to make it
and
off.
It stopped. Okay.
There we go.
That's not Bill Gates. That is Tom Wheeler.
That sounds like a nice guy.
That's an Imager post there, you know, memed out. Hi, I'm Tom Wheeler, former cable and telecom lobbyist. Did you know that's what he used to do? And
that sounds like nice people.
Hi, I'm Tom Wheeler, new FCC commissioner who just ended net neutrality.
Wait, but wait, hold on a second. So he was a lobbyist,
yes,
and then he became a politician that's actually fighting for our rights. But what does a lobbyist do again, Paul?
Well, a lobbyist would be invested with the cable companies and approaching politicians, possibly schmoozing them to some degree, and trying to get them to make changes or enact laws or change legislation in order to benefit the company that they are lobbyists for. So it seems like possibly a little bit of a conflict of interest that he went from that to being the FCC chairman.
But I mean, I trust our government. I think that they're going to think the proper action is going to be get a lobbyist in there, because he's going to know what not to do. And then what you do is you say, don't do the things you've been doing, do the right thing.
So maybe he saw
that's
the
how you
error
do
of
it.
his ways while he was working as a lobbyist and said, you know what, this is wrong.
Yep.
I'm going to go to the FCC and I'm going to change all this.
You know what's really funny though, Paul? Because I just watched the tech and they explained that is entirely the opposite of what's happening.
Really?
Yeah.
That is so surprising, Steve.
I mean, because if you follow the line of logic, it shouldn't really work like that. I mean, if you grab somebody that's obviously a lobbyist and had their own goals and their own perspective of how they should be handling things, and then put them into our trusted hands as a politician, anyway, I'm sorry. Maybe I just don't understand politics.
So with that, should we dive right into those stories since we're talking about it?
Why not? Yeah.
All right, so we do have some FCC stuff to talk about with you guys. You probably maybe have heard some of this, but let's jump over. It would be like the third one on there. Yeah.
Okay. Since we started there, right?
Speaking of Tom Wheeler, this is. FCC has proposed new net neutrality rules. We talked about this in past weeks. It seems like they're going to really hurt the way that the internet works, set up a tiered system so that the service providers can charge more to companies for providing them data. It's really wrong. I tweeted a link to a story about this earlier this week that came from Kane, and it's just the whole way that the transfer of data and the transfer of money has worked up till now. It's really backwards, and it's setting up like a charging in both ways sort of thing. And the terminology that like Comcast and Time Warner and the ISPs are using, as opposed to what's actually happened, it's very deceptive. So
yes.
First off, the FCC's rules have been opposed by about over 100 internet companies. This includes Google, Yahoo, Netflix, as well as a bunch more large companies who are saying that this is not the right way to do business. Creating a tiered internet will cause prices to go up for consumers, for one thing, but it's also going to set a precedent wherein you're going to have a very difficult time as an internet startup getting the bandwidth allocated to yourself without having the cash to pay for it to these large sort of embedded companies to actually get a fast internet connection, for your web page to load or that sort of thing.
Right.
So it's been opposed by a lot of companies. That's number one, and they wrote a very you know, it's a corporate letter, so they dance around some of the topics a little bit, but it's still a very well worded letter, and basically saying this is wrong. This is going to hurt the way the internet works. The internet has been largely unregulated for 20 plus years, and the way the market has worked, it's actually done very well. There's been a huge amount of innovation, a huge amount of companies who have started very small, who have grown to be very large, some for better, some for worse, but that's kind of the way the free market economy is supposed to work.
Right.
But doing this type of thing is really going to hurt the internet's ability to do that, and we should all do whatever we can to indicate our opposition to this.
I think maybe, I'm sure most of you have probably heard something similar to this so far from the different tech channels that you probably subscribe to, but I want to add that, remember, it's not just us that are saying it and not doing anything. Both Paul and I have both signed petitions in the past, and we'll continue to do what we can, including sending letters if need be. But the fact that other companies are doing it as well, I mean, companies, not just individuals. So you guys do have the option to do that. Do that if you want to, or not. I'm sure it's up to you. But I would say that these companies are doing it. So if we're all doing it and the companies are doing it, might seem like it's pretty important. And if you guys feel the same way and you want to, you know, jump into the bandwagon with us and come right along for this awesome ride of protecting our internet usage, go for it.
Yeah, and there's petitions on whitehouse.gov. There's at least one that I know we've signed, and there's probably several, because this type of thing typically generates multiples of those. You can sign those. If they get 100,000 responses, the White House has to respond and act on these things. Make your case known to friends and family and people who might not be as familiar with this type of topic. Write a letter to your congressman or senator in your state, letting them know in basic language, in a simple, short, concise...
Visual basic language, actually.
Visual basic language, that you're really strongly against this, and you don't want these companies who already have a huge stock in doing this, because it will just, it's all money. They will make ridiculous amounts of money, so they're going to spend all the money they already have to try to put that in place so they can make more money. Yeah. And that's just...
Can I tack on another story onto the end of this one that you might have covered? I'm hoping you grabbed this one. I haven't actually had a chance to look over stories.
There's a couple little follow-ups on this one.
Yeah, like the one about how the ISP that reacted to this?
Yes. So,
okay,
so let's continue. Just go to the go to the TechCrunch, the green one right there.
Okay, this one right here.
Yeah, sorry, there were 3 in a row on this one.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Let me show everybody this.
So here's a TechCrunch article. So despite all of the hubbub on the internet about this whole FCC thing, it's still going to a vote. So there's a vote scheduled for May 15th, even after this big letter from all of the tech companies and Google and everything was sent. Yeah. Even after all of the people who have expressed opposition to this have said the things that they have said, they're like, no, who cares about what the people think? We're still going to vote on this. So who knows what the vote might lead to. We're hoping, of course, that this proposition will get struck down, but that's happening May 15th, and we really need to make as big of a stink about this leading up to that as we can, so that hopefully it will influence the people on the FCC board and influence their decision to know that they should go with what the general population feels and not what the heads of a few massive companies want to do to pad their pockets.
The reality is, for every 10 of you out there, there's probably one of you that are going to do something. We understand, like, we're not going to keep pushing you, but it's something that if you really believe in, maybe just take the time to do it real quick. It's not that big a deal for you in terms of effort, but it would mean that you're one voice versus the other 9 people who believe in the same thing you're doing, but you actually did something. So think about it like that. You're acting on the other 9 people's behalf.
And then another little follow-up to this one, which would be the Maximum PC one right over there.
This one right
2 more over to the right.
Oh, I see it.
Oh, that didn't load properly. Just go 1 more to the right of that.
I can refresh it and it'll come back up.
Nope.
Oh, it's a commercial.
Still gone.
Okay. This one.
Actually, it's saying the page isn't there anymore. Go the 2 white ones with the orange in the middle. No, that's still wrong. Dang it. Where'd that go?
I didn't.
Oh no, the kitty face. Is there a kitty face one? Where did they? It's not there. It doesn't load up.
You guys are just gonna see all. Let's do this.
Go to my thingy there.
Okay. I'm going to your thingy, Paul.
We're totally prepared for this.
This is the professionalism
the NeoCities. The last NeoCities.
Oh, right. It was NeoCities. Yeah.
All right. So
this is great. This is like, all right. So we're sending messages, we're sending letters, we're signing petitions, but this ISP actually did something. Go ahead, Paul.
Well, this isn't an ISP. This is a website.
Yeah. Sorry. It's a
so
website.
This is NeoCities. They're a blog. They host a bunch of individual websites. So it's kind of like a group website thing. And what they have done is limited the FCC's bandwidth to them. Now, originally I read this article and I was like, wait, did they somehow like shrink the FCC's outer connection to 28.8.
That's what I thought it was too when you said that.
Yeah, that's kind of the impression you first get. But basically, if anybody from the FCC, from that set of IP, that block of IP addresses, tries to connect to any NeoCities website, NeoCities hosted website, they will be accessing it at 28,800 speeds. So basically, like modem speeds, dial-up speeds, but not even like the
not even 56K.
Not even 56K like the older ones. So what they're trying to do is say, look, FCC, this is what people are going to be having to deal with when they try to contact sites or access sites that have been throttled if this type of legislation goes through. Yeah. So here's what you're going to get if you try to access any of our sites. Now, this is entirely dependent on people at the FCC wanting to go to NeoCities sites. But the other thing that the gentleman who set this up is, whose name I forget right now, he actually posted the code in order to integrate this onto your own site. So
that's awesome.
Scroll down a little bit. He calls it the Ferengi plan. So he said, if the FCC wants full bandwidth access to their sites, they can simply do a FCC only plan that costs $1,000 per year and will remove the 28.8 kilobits per second modem throttle on the FCC. I mean, this is all just kind of blatant poke,
Yeah, but if you have a site, which I bet a lot of our viewers do, this would be awesome to throw this code up there.
Yeah. So if who knows, if this, I don't think this is anything that's going to gain a ton of momentum. It's just kind of funny. If this code was propagated across the internet, then there could really be maybe the FCC would notice, like, hey, I can't load these websites or something like that.
This is great.
And then there was a Reddit thread kind of going off about this topic. And my favorite quote from it, and I'm sorry I didn't get the name of the Redditor, but it said, if porn sites did this, net neutrality would be fixed in a day.
Hell yeah, it would. Oh my God.
Not to elaborate too much on that particular thing, but there you go. So a little bit of net neutrality topics for you guys. Again, May 15th is when this vote is happening.
What am I talking about? Politicians don't go to download porn; they just get hookers.
Well, anybody at FCC, they have other people there who work there besides.
Oh, right. That's politicians. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
They're people who are in charge.
They would definitely notice it. They would notice the impact.
Never been there myself, but anyway.
Nice.
That's all for net neutrality for today. Let's move on to, what are we going to talk about next?
Is this about this?
We can talk about towns. We can talk about, what else do we miss? Oh, how about the Apple story? Go to the Apple story.
Okay. Hold on, let me go back to this real quick.
I don't want to talk too much about the Apple story, but it's all over the place, so there you go. You guys you haven't heard about this yet, Steve?
No, dude, this is news to me.
So Apple is in talks to acquire Beats Audio for $3.2 billion. And I have one thing to say about this.
Does it involve Dr. Dre?
Yes, it involves Dr. Dre. Okay. In fact, there was a tweet about it that Dr. Dre did, and they had to take it down because it was preliminary and stuff like that. It's like
so Dr. Dre had a response?
Dr. Dre's like the first billionaire rapper or something like that. But I don't know. My only thought about this was
not very liked by Suge Knight either.
Two companies who sell shiny, overpriced crap. It's a match made in heaven, right? That was my thought.
Wait, that's what he said?
No, that's what I say.
Oh, okay, good. Okay. I was like, why would he say that about his own product?
Apple and Beats. I don't know. I mean, Beats isn't. There's a lot better and more reasonably priced headsets out there than Beats. Of course, if you buy Beats, you should buy it on Newegg.com. Do we even sell Beats stuff?
We don't sell Beats?
I think we do, but
we probably do.
Stop recommending it.
Okay,
yeah. Stop recommending it, Ches says.
Think about headsets and headphones. If you've noticed, since Beats came out, the proliferation of headphone and headset manufacturers, like high-end ones, usually have some involvement of like a musician or something like that who sanctions that product, and it's. The thing to me about headsets, the profit margin on them is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're
akin to monster cables?
I don't know if it's that bad. It's not that bad, but the amount of money that they make versus how much they sell these things for is ridiculous. So it's a testament to marketing, really, because when Beats first came out, they sampled out a bunch of them to a bunch of like NBA players and other high-profile people who they knew were going to wear them on camera, and people would see them. Oh, those must be awesome headsets. And, and Dr. Dre's involved, and I got to get me some of those $100, $150, I don't know, $200 headsets. I don't even know how much they cost. They're probably at least.
I'm not going to get into it.
At least you don't even.
I'm not even going to get into it.
No, I
had a friend of mine that worked at Best Buy had told me something about Beats that I don't want to repeat here, but if you know somebody or if you work at Best Buy, you probably already know what I'm going to say, but I'm not going to say it. I'll just direct you to Best Buy employees that will tell you about Beats.
Sneaky.
Yeah, headsets.
Apple.
What'd they say?
Apple and beets, two foods.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to do a hybrid of an apple and a beet.
A hybrid,
and then
hybrid
sell
apple
that,
beet?
and then sell that for $3 billion.
All right. So you want to go on to this one, or you want me to grab something?
Sure. Let's do this one real quick, because this was the only kind of non-segmented story that I had.
Sure.
Excuse me. This is a cautionary tale to you guys out there who might be interested in early adoption of games. And I brought this story up because this is an intervention for Steve, I think is what this one comes to.
What are you talking? Ches, why aren't you in on this intervention?
Ches, we need to tell Steve he has a problem with buying video games.
He does.
And here is
a LAN center in his living room.
It's come to the point.
Your girlfriend has used that LAN center.
I wish we could bring Steve's wife in right now, and his kid from the future or something.
We love you, holding up a big card.
We don't want to tie you up with an Ethernet cord and haul you up.
Exactly.
No, it's got to be like a keyboard cable or something, or like a mouse cable, and
So all right. So Steve buys lots of video games. There's nothing wrong with buying video games, of course, but there's sort of this blurry line between here's a video game that's complete and here's a video game that's incomplete, and there's different stages of incompletion. So this particular story is about a game called Towns, which has been around since about 2012. They've had 200,000 sales of this game for $15 a pop. It was a Steam game.
Greenlight.
It was a Steam Greenlight game prior to the early access that they had set up. So this existed actually before they set up that program. So many people paid $15 a pop for this game, and now the developers have just been like, we're done. There's a couple quotes from the developers. They were really uninspiring. They included typos. I think he actually spelled the word coming with C-O-M-M-I-N-G, which is, I don't know, that doesn't indicate a high degree of intelligence to me, but so that's $3 million in sales, and then the devs are just like, nah, we're not going to finish it. So the sort of broken state that it's in right now is what people are stuck with, since it wasn't part of Steam Early Access, as opposed to, there was another story with another game that I forgot to add to this list, but there's another game similar to this that they've also dropped, but you can, at least for a limited time, and go get a refund from Steam Early Access, but you have to actively go and click the I want a refund button.
Versus Greenlight, that's like, here you can vote for it. They probably went from Greenlight to maybe a Kickstarter, because I feel like Greenlight never actually, maybe it's because I didn't actually do Greenlight at the very, very beginning, but Kickstarter is a really good example of exactly things like this can happen. When you kickstart a company, you're just saying, here's the money, regardless of what I get out of it. They're telling you, if we succeed, if we pull it off, this is what we want to give you. Reality is, there's no contract you're signing. There's nothing that's guaranteeing you it. It's not like you walked in the store and pre-ordered something, but people have that tendency to think like that. In fact, when I play betas, I typically want to play them either super early, or if it's a multiplayer game I want to get really good at before it launches, I'll play that right before it launches. But most of the time I understand going into it that I'm going to sacrifice any kind of new shine and fun to the game and trade that off for, if it was a single player game, I wouldn't do it. Because that is the whole gameplay. I'm never going to have to compare my abilities to someone else in a single player game. That's just my perspective, but that's why I usually won't play a
So this is a cautionary tale. Just maybe, I think, approach these types of options or these types of things when they come out early with discretion, because you need to know that if you're dropping money in here, it's more of a gamble. You're not buying a finished product. There's potential for this type of thing to happen, and but I mean, there's a flip side to it too. You look at a game oh my gosh,
DayZ?
No.
Was the game we played? Star Citizen?
Star Citizen.
Okay.
Good Lord, sorry.
Well, spaceships that cost $800.
It's been a long week. Star Citizen. Now, I'm not at all saying there's any potential for Star Citizen not to happen. Clearly, it is going to happen.
Just tweet this out. This is news.
And this is the type of thing that type of game has so much momentum behind it and so much money.
So much money.
If this type of thing was to happen with a game like that, that I feel like the internet would explode or something like that.
Also,
there would
like
be an outcry.
A well-known developer. I mean, there's no way that he's gonna back out of something like that.
So maybe you can look at it maybe look at a developer's history.
Yes.
Projects they've done in the past, things that have come to completion. If you're thinking about investing in a game early, and just make sure you take everything with a grain of salt and spend your money wisely. Unless you're rich, and then just throw your money at me.
I was gonna say it's like eBay. It's like the eBay of gaming. If you wouldn't buy something with 0 reviews and the guy's giving you an incredibly good price on something that you might get at some point in the future. But yeah. So I'm gonna move us along, Paul. I'm gonna grab one of my stories.
Yes.
Oh, never mind. Before we go to my stories, we're gonna jump to Twitter, which is
where'd my Twitters go?
Insanity because.
Some notifications.
Oh, I got something from Nick. This is gonna be good. Hi, Paulie and Steven. Which phone do you think will be bigger in 2015? The N-Gage, powered by Kant.
I'm gonna click his link.
Yeah, I'm gonna click his link too. This is such a mistake. I should never click a link from him.
He used Twit longer.
Twit longer.
Nick's using Twit longer now.
Oh God, yeah. So,
but in 2015, the Engage powered by NVIDIA GFX 1010Z, or Jitterbug flop phone for elderly with low C lights plus has big font size. A thin iPhone 3GS has going to make a comeback. No one need 4G's LTE. Oh, GLTE. 4G LTE.
Okay.
That's a very phonetic spelling of 4G LTE. Thank you, my stepmom. Well, thank you for Mother's Day.
Oh.
It's a Mother's Day greeting from Nick.
The longest humanly possible.
That's fantastic.
All right, flip through some stuff, favorite, whatever you like. I can go through.
Not even reply.
No.
Buy an HTC M8.
That's your advice. Okay.
That's the one I
that's fine.
Heard the most. I don't have enough experience with enough different phones to give good phone advice. Although I can get a new phone in like 2 or 3 months. I think something like that.
The Oppo Find 7 is supposed to be pretty sweet. Somebody had recommended that to me. I thought it was cool. And then I realized that a lot of Android phones are coming out with 2K screens and 4K video capability. And I started thinking, oh, I thought that was the only one because my limited Android phone knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
But that's still pretty cool that the phone looks nice. And I don't know, MKB HD liked the Find 7A, I want to say it was, which is kind of like the little brother to that. Doesn't have the really nice screen, the really nice camera, but it has a good camera. But he said basically the battery life wasn't that great, and the difference between the two models, if memory serves, is like a 2800 milliamp hour battery for the Find 7A, and the Find 7 is a 3000. So like 200, like 0.02, like the minimum difference, 200 milliamp hour difference is like nothing. Anyway.
Oops.
So, yes.
Yes, you can unfavorite.
You favorited something that was bad?
It was a little bit.
That's a little racy?
Probably for
a little racy?
If you check out my favorites, shout out to Skanda Raj, who has us playing an Alt+Tab show on like 5 screens going on right now. That's awesome.
Nice. I've favorited that myself.
I wonder if they're like slightly offset, so there's like a crazy echo every time we talk, if you have all that going on. Thanks to Mrs. Wiki Kitty, now known as Nocturne Kitty, for tweeting us out. Thank you very much.
He has this literally. Did you look at this picture though? He has this literally on literally on his TV. I think like a tablet, and then like
a triple monitor set up on a computer.
Yeah, each one. Jeez, that's awesome.
Ryan Morton asks, what's a good 8GB RAM kit for Z77 MSI motherboard? Any 8GB RAM kit, 2x4 gigs. Make sure you get one that you like the color of and that's pretty, and go for 1600 at minimum.
No!
Probably more likely 1866. I like 1866.
Not you, sorry.
For Z77, that's a good one. Trey has a PC part picker link, and I think that might take a little bit too much time to go over for right now, but I'll see if I can take a look at it later. There's Nick's tweet. Walshy wants to know what this is in the background, the Matrix thing. If you go on YouTube and look for Matrix raining code, it should be one of those first ones that pop up. And we downloaded it and ran it in the background. All right. And then Gnarly asked, what are your thoughts on the LG ultra-wide monitors, 29 and 34-inch models? I think they're pretty cool. I haven't seen the bigger one for the 21:9. I've seen the smaller 29-inch versions. They're pretty cool. I think they're not for me because I'm pretty set on 16 by 9, and I often do benchmarking, and I think 16 by 9 is more common for that type of thing. I saw that 34-inch one that Linus did the video on. It's got some crazy resolution. It's like big wide by 1600 or something like that. I forget, but that
nice.
Definitely looks really cool. And a larger size, I think, would be very nice. But it's for me. I'm trying. I mean, and this is a consideration that most people probably don't have. I stick with hopefully more common resolutions and aspect ratios, simply because as I'm doing videos and that sort of thing, I think it makes it more useful and stuff.
Very, very cool.
Okay,
I've got a tweet from Redboard Cube that says to me, "Breathe, Steve, breathe." Laugh out loud. Logan ITX men are on the job. So I missed that reference, but thank you for reminding me to breathe because sometimes I don't. It happens.
That's true.
What? Oh, I almost read the one from Dan Halen. What? Keep going. There's more. There's one.
Finish your tweets.
Oh, okay, cool. And Red War Cube wants to know.
I like this. Ches is moving the show along here.
This is cool. Yeah, this is the wireless one that I use for my HTPC. It's the Logitech. Damn, I can't remember the model, but
that's sweet. But no one here can see it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. That's okay.
Steve and I are just going to talk amongst ourselves.
You guys can come over and talk with me. Why you gotta stay behind the camera like that? It's just ridiculous. Why don't you guys come over here and hang out? I accidentally favored the wrong tweet. I favorited the one you didn't want to put up.
It's okay.
Yes. So it's this keyboard.
Yeah, 31. Sorry, aspect ratio. It's 3140 by 1440. It's something like that. I forget. I'm having a hard enough time remembering the 4K. 3860 by 2140. Is that right? I think that's right.
I don't remember, man. I'm sorry.
4K. Just 4K.
4K is good. Yes. Matrix.
But we had a story. You were going to talk about?
Yes. Let me jump into stories because I'm getting a little off track here.
It's okay.
All right, so this is a story from PC Gamer. Specifically, it's from Wes Fenlon, I want to say. Yes, Fenlon of PC Gamer. So this is a cool one. Basically, just popped today, talking about Killing Floor 2 and an exclusive look that PC Gamer had with it. They're promoting the most advanced gore system ever. A couple quotes in here I really like in this story. Bill Monk, he's the creative director and senior animator at Tripwire. And he's quoted as saying, Red Orchestra is realism. That's there because they did Red Orchestra as well. Killing Floor is coolism. So they're just trying to make the game as wild and fun as humanly possible. And basically he's saying that it's the first time they've ever been able to develop a game from start to finish to what he would call a reasonably with a reasonably sized staff, I should say, and a reasonably sized budget as well, according to John Gibson.
I want to say Killing Floor is coolism. That's
if I have my glasses, I might be able to pull that off.
Best I can do. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So moving right along. Essentially, Gibson and the other founding members of Tripwire had to take out loans to pay for their first game, Red Orchestra, which I found pretty interesting. I didn't know that. They've been well known for their realism in terms of how they've been modeling tons of different guns and stuff. And they also benefited from Killing Floor 2's focus on animation fidelity. Here's another quote from them. Guns shoot at such a high frame rate. If you animate the gun at 30 frames per second, you're only going to get 6 frames per second when you go into slow-mo to show that gun animation, says Monk. He said, we started experimenting, and they wanted to know what happens if we animate our weapons shooting at a ridiculously high frame rate. Using a bullpup as an example, they animated it at 242 frames per second, which gives them 22 frames per shell that ejects out of the weapons. And in slow motion, you can actually see every kickback of the weapon and the shells being ejected. The shell being ejected from the upper. So
that must make it really exciting to shoot the ground.
well, I don't know. Have you played Killing Floor? Yes.
So I haven't, but it's called Killing Floor, so I'm assuming that the game is about shooting the ground.
There's a lot involving the ground. Mostly you're running on it, and you're leaving wasted enemies laying on it, including some of your friends accidentally if you can't get away from everything.
So the final boss would be like a football field.
The biggest floor that you could think of?
Or what? I'm full of terrible jokes today.
No, that's great. I love it. So to get on about the gore and animation, basically, it's going to be extremely open to modders. So if you guys out there are modders, or anybody out there are, you should be a little bit excited about this. Basically, the limbs and the damage types can be easily assigned to different effects. For instance, Zeds, which is one of the enemies you fight, could spew flowers and rainbows instead of blood.
Oh.
You like that, Paul?
I like that.
Would that make you want to play the game more?
Possibly.
Modders will be able to assign Zeds new attacks without writing any code. Even Tripwire's lighting system, which they built themselves and integrated into the UE3 engine, will be easy to animate. So the Unreal Engine 3 is what's being used in this.
Nice.
So very cool.
I will say any game like this that encourages mod support, I can stand behind, because that's one of my favorite things about PC gaming, is like the amount of lifespan you can get out of a game when you get a game that the mod community is interested in. GTA 4 is one that immediately comes to mind. The insane amount of stuff you can do with that. Skyrim.
I remember getting cars that were just so lowered in GTA 3, I think it was, when I was modding and playing around with that. I would just download models, and they were these crazy, like, Murcielagos, and they were so low to the ground that if you hit the smallest bump or hit a person, you would hop off them and, like, fly around corners. And then we'd mess with the speeds of vehicles and get us to the point where we couldn't turn. We'd just be hauling so much and then turn, and we'd just keep going straight. It was a lot of fun. Anyway.
You're trying to make
trying not to, yeah.
Trying to make up for last week, Steve. Steve might have dropped some
F-bombs.
Some F-bombs last week on this
It was
stream.
interesting.
It's cool, though.
Interesting show. Yes, you would like that. All right, Paul, I'm going to jump back to one of your stories.
Okay, next up I should have a trio of hardware stories.
Trio of hardware.
A trio,
are we starting with
AMD. There we go.
Okay, cool.
All right. Yeah. All right. So a little bit of AMD news here. Might be more interesting for some of you than for
populate out to you guys.
This is the first accusation of poisoning that I've seen in this particular stream.
Oh, my stomach.
Paul poisoned Steve.
Paul, did you put anything in my water?
Have you eaten any salad today, Steve?
I didn't eat any salad.
Then I couldn't have poisoned you.
But I did get char broiler with you.
Flame broiler?
Flame broiler with you.
That was delicious. Couldn't even taste anything slightly off about that meal, could you, Steve?
Something upset my stomach, and I tripped over the Ethernet cable without walking over it.
Are we live again?
Yeah. I'm just waiting for us to get caught up. Right. So Ches says we're good.
I think we're live again.
Once again, I'm going to bring you back up to speed. Paul was just saying how he's found a really cool story where AMD has unveiled its ambidextrous computing roadmap, and we were making jokes about ambidextrousness being with both hands, well, I guess it's arm.
Steve, if you mind scrolling down just a little bit there.
Yes.
Here's their roadmap. So right now we have their APUs, which their code names that are out right now is Kaveri. We also have Bima and Mullins. They're also out, and they just recently started to do a little bit of dabbling with Seattle. Which is actually an Opteron platform. They did a demonstration of that just recently. Cool. ARM is very interesting for the server space due to its power requirements, and low power consumption is huge when it comes to servers, because servers can use a lot of power. So what they're talking about doing is in 2015 going to Project Skybridge, which is an awesome code name. I love awesome code names.
I thought you were going to say Skynet for sure.
Kind of like Devil's Canyon.
Yeah, Devil's Canyon is pretty cool.
Skybridge. No, I want to say cool. To the Skybridge, and then you run out with your blasters or something like that.
Right.
So Skybridge is going to be 20 nanometer manufacturing process, and basically what they're talking about is a socketed platform that you can drop in an x86 or an ARM processor.
Whoa.
Into. Yes.
Wow. Okay.
From my understanding, at least in reading this.
So just like one motherboard for everything then.
Yeah, or at least they're going to have two. They'll have two series there, and I'm guessing x86 will be more performance oriented, and ARM would be more power consumption oriented.
Right.
And then even beyond that, in 2016, they're talking about doing a dual thing. So basically, you'd have both x86 and ARM on the same die.
Almost like a coprocessor?
Yeah, almost like a coprocessor. So to me, that says you're talking about the ability to go into a low power mode and run on your ARM cores, or if you start to do rendering or something like that, you can jump over to.
You know what we could do? We could do a test and see if it's something else.
You gotta keep going at this point. It's already 2:45.
Yeah, no, I know. I wanna try and test something, but we'll go with it on this for a moment. All right, it looks like we might be back, guys. Sorry about this. Having a couple hiccups today. So, Paul, what we were saying was that you were telling me that they would be more like a coprocessor, and they would be both on the same motherboard. And it's kind of interesting because it's an SoC that it doesn't need all the extras that a motherboard might be providing for it. although then it would also have another CPU too on top of that, both APUs.
Yeah, well, it's difficult to say from the information presented here as far as how it would actually be rolled out, but it seems like an interesting direction for them to go, and it definitely seems like something that could be very successful.
Cool.
I would be most interested in what they're doing to advance their x86 architecture, because I think that's where they have some catching up to do when it comes to comparisons against Intel. And raw compute power is still very important for a lot of people.
Right.
But it's just a little information about AMD there.
Cool.
That's story 1 of 3 for our little my little hardware trio here.
Cool. So we'll go right into the next one.
Next up is a story from Hexus, and it's like the coffee mug down there.
Yeah, sorry.
Story from Hexus here, and this is just a question for you guys. I think you guys might find this interesting. We've been seeing a lot of these new motherboards coming out, and I'm really not sure how closely we can talk about them at this point, although they're everywhere on the internet, so I'm just Z97. Okay. So the question here asked on Hexus is, what makes a great motherboard BIOS? Or perhaps UEFI would be more applicable. We have definitely... What?
I'm still laughing at you.
Why?
Just the way you say things and then you react to them. Was that a natural reaction, or was that a placated?
No, I'm in character, Steve.
Oh, got you. Okay.
So Hexus is asking, what makes a great motherboard BIOS, or UEFI? And this is just a question I wanted to ask you guys. There's really not a whole lot to this article. It's really just asking this question because what we're seeing with the more recent CPUs that have come out, since so much stuff is integrated onto the CPU, since speed is no longer really much of a difference going from one motherboard to a next, or one manufacturer to a next, the motherboard manufacturers look to differentiate themselves via other means. So whether it's add-ons onto the motherboard and additional functionality, ASUS ROG series likes to go kind of full bore towards next generation stuff and integrate a bunch of things that are maybe even more cutting edge. Good word combination there. But the UEFI has been something that we've seen a ton of advancement, particularly since UEFI was introduced a couple generations ago. So they can do a lot more things with the graphical interface. They can do a lot more things to allow you to set like CPU fan curves, or that sort of thing in the BIOS. The new ASUS boards have a really cool fan expert thing that you can actually access in the BIOS. So there's that, and then there's the actual operating system software. But that'd be the question for you guys. Do you like the sort of fancy UI type thing? Are you more of an old school, like, I want to have a list of a list of settings and go in and plug in each one? Do you use the mouse in the BIOS, or do you still use the arrow keys, that sort of thing?
I've actually been training myself to use the mouse a little bit more.
Yeah.
I know it's obviously much quicker with the keyboard most of the times, but depending on how complex the UEFI is, it's a lot easier just to use the mouse. I mean, obviously it's designed to be a GUI, so.
Yeah, I like to use the mouse. I find there's still a lot of inconsistency as far as which mice and motherboards happen to like work properly. Sometimes you get in, the acceleration is like sending the mouse cursor across the screen, or that sort of thing. Yeah. And I thought I had some more notes for myself on what to ask about here, but advanced modes, some people will take that pretty UI and they'll be like, no, where's the advanced mode that can let me get into all the dirty
real
details?
Stuff. Yeah, I like setting up like a favorites too, so I know where I need to go. I just set it all up and I can just really quickly get to it.
Gigabyte has a pretty cool implementation for that, just to let you to add some things there. And you go to one, it's like your first UI screen that you see when you go into the BIOS. You just have like the 5 things you actually want to see. Change those if you want to, and then be done with, and then go. Or another comment I saw on this particular article was a more clear explanation of what each setting actually does when you go to it,
as opposed to what ASRock does is they put a QR code in theirs, and you'd think, oh, that's so cool, I'm going to do it, and then you do it, and it's like, this code does not exist. This website design is like, why did you put the QR code in there and not make it work?
Did you do that with ASRock?
I did it with the last series of Fatality boards, yeah. There was a Fatality board.
The new ones, or the Z87s?
Z87s.
Okay.
Not the newest.
Just checking on that.
In fact, I probably should update my BIOS just to make sure that I can still make that claim, but it was the one that I had when it first arrived. I probably should check the BIOS just to make sure it's the most up to date, but yeah.
So just a thought, just a question. If you guys want to tweet some of your thoughts over to me or Steve, go ahead and do that.
Cool.
And then a third story here.
Third story.
Wait, no, I got out of order. Steve, you're probably still in order.
Yeah. We can jump on something with me, sure.
That's the question of the week. So here's kind of a fun one.
Are you ready?
Okay. One. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Give me a sec here to get you. Is it this one?
Yes, Tech Inferno.
Wait, what? This one?
Yeah, scroll down. Scroll to the pictures, the pretty pictures. All right, so this is a pretty cool.
Okay.
This is, I think if.
No, don't worry about it. I can't widen it, so it's got to stay this width. Yeah.
So here's from the Tech Inferno forums and the user Squinks.
I had no idea you were such a fan of Macs.
What?
I'm just making a joke.
Well, it's more the things that are next to it. So basically,
I get it, yeah.
what this is a MacBook Pro and an external GTX 780 Ti at 20 gigabits per second via Thunderbolt 2. And this is like fully DIY, hacked together implementation because we've been hearing about this a lot, but doesn't seem like anybody's really done it that much. The drawback here is it was about $2,000 worth of hardware that he had to purchase here. The main thing that he had to buy was that Sonnet Thunderbolt 2 chassis, which is about $1,000. But he used that. He integrated a 780 Ti into it. He also has an external power supply that you can kind of see. That's also right there. Yeah,
scroll down. Sorry. I was trying to read something because I was looking for something. I heard something about this story, and that's the only reason why I was.
But yeah, he's saying via this implementation, he's actually getting about 85 to 90% of the performance you'd see from a 780 Ti running on a desktop. And it's pretty cool conceptually because this is that big problem of like, you get a laptop, you're so limited with the mobile laptop GPUs and that sort of thing. They're so much less powerful than you get with a desktop. But here's a potential where you can take your laptop, go on the go with it wherever you want to, and then at home, drop your laptop in, connect your external graphics card via Thunderbolt, and voila, you have an awesome gaming machine. And also, you could use other laptops. You can switch out a laptop and still have that available. So pretty cool DIY implementation of that. And
the power going into it. It's crazy.
It's really cool. He's got the external power supply there and everything. But it's I don't know, I just thought that was really interesting. And
it's really cool, man.
I'm looking forward to external GPUs. I'm probably still sticking with desktops for as long as I possibly can. But this is a great implementation, I think.
I actually saw a post from Elric this morning about this, or recently about this on Facebook, which was pretty cool. I didn't have time to read it or watch it then, but thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So, right on.
So he ran a bunch of benchmarks and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And there's my hardware stories.
Cool. Okay. I'm going to jump in with something real quick. Let me try and get myself together here, guys. All right. So. This is kind of interesting. Actually, Ches, you should tell your significant other about this one. Playing Tetris reduces the strength, frequency, and vividness of naturally occurring cravings. So basically, by
good thing or a bad thing?
Well, if you don't want your cravings to continue, I guess, take you over, it reduces the potency. What types of
cravings are we talking about here, Steve?
I'm assuming food.
You know, I have many proclivities here, and there's not all of them I want to curb with the Tetris playing.
So the study provides the first laboratory tests of the hypothesis that imagery is central to craving. Obviously, a lot of advertising. You see a gigantic hamburger drive by on the back of a truck, and you think to yourself, I want a hamburger today. That's usually where they get that idea from.
But you want to get a hamburger after we finish?
You know, I was kind of thinking about it. I don't know where that came from. I just got really hungry for a good hamburger. Anyway, they postulate that imagery is central to craving. Therefore, a visually based task should decrease craving and craving imagery. So this study provides the first laboratory test of this hypothesis in a naturally occurring rather than artificially induced cravings. Participants reported if they were experiencing a craving and rated the strength, vividness, and intrusiveness of their craving. So you should actually test this, Ches. You should when you guys are hungry. And okay, some background here. Kelly, Chez's wonderful girlfriend, she is amazing at Tetris. Like, I'm not talking like, hey, play some Tetris. Like, she's so focused at Tetris. I watched her play it at my little LAN center that Ches likes to make fun of. And she was just like, I couldn't keep up with the motions, the quickness. I mean, literally, her fingers were just flying across the keyboard, man.
Like level 160 status?
Yeah. Wow. Like she's
top 100 in the world.
Top 100 in the world. Yeah. And so you should test this, Ches. Wait till it's time for dinner and say, hon, I'm just going to take a shower real quick. While I'm taking a shower, I want you to just play a game and just see how long you can just wait in the shower. Yeah, and just see if the cravings for food just go away.
30, like,
yeah.
What happened?
I have to say, they're not specifically saying this is food. They're leaving.
Right.
Very
No,
vague.
you're right. Yeah. Well, any kind of craving. You're right. But I feel like imagery. What kind of imagery would induce something? I mean, I guess
saying
it's
cravings. Whatever you're compelled to do. Whether you're talking about
maybe drugs or
going and buying
a cigarette, playtime.
going and buying stuff. I mean, I guess
you went the nicest way. We went like the darkest.
This could cut both ways. You know, cravings for like vices or something like that, stuff that's bad for you. It'd be good to curb that. Cravings for other things like, you know, furthering the human race, to put it lightly. I don't want to curb. Anyway.
But I mean, every gamer out there knows if you've been playing a game for a good hour or so and you realize, oh my God, I haven't eaten dinner, or 5 hours is a more accurate number, I haven't eaten dinner, and my wife is always asking me when she comes home, have you ate dinner or anything yet? It's like 10:30. I'm like, oh my God, I've been gaming all day. I think I had a can of tuna and maybe some baked beans. Like I haven't had any, like I grabbed the quickest, fastest thing I can eat. I call it DayZ living in real life.
DayZ diet.
Yeah, DayZ diet, exactly. So you just eat whatever you would find in DayZ, except for the heavily damaged cans.
I always
so
used to look at this, going back to my World of Warcraft days.
Yeah.
Just a quick tangent here.
Cool.
Is like you're waiting for a raid or you're waiting for something to happen. You have these brief moments of like free time. It's like, I don't need to be in my computer for the next 45 seconds. Okay, run out and like do this thing, like blah blah blah, like I'm making a burrito or something, you know, like beans in the microwave and I got the cheese and then back to the thing, like do something you need to do really quick, and then race back around and like finish making whatever, and then you get back in there like right as the raid is starting, and you have food and like all of your needs are met, and then you game for another 3 hours.
God, I wish I would have known you were playing games like that, because that would have been so fun to just see that. Because seeing you now, you were just like, you're so tempered with the things you have to do that you have no time to play games.
I realize if I want to make something of my life,
you need to curb those cravings, Paul, of making something in your life,
making videos or whatever I'm doing.
All right, so we're jumping into another one of these.
If you're cool with it, I have another trio.
Yeah. A trio, Jesus.
Yes, I arrange my stories in groups of threes.
All right, fine. No, I didn't close it.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I forgot you had two of those. All right, so we got some wearable technology stories.
Cool.
Here.
Is it a Wi-Fi t-shirt?
So this one's funny. This is like a smart shirt. The idea behind this one is that people aren't going to wear technology unless it's something they might have worn otherwise. Like, for instance, all the smartwatches that are coming out, I could care less about.
Really?
Because I stopped wearing a watch when I got my smartphone. I'm not going to get rid of my smartphone, at least not for the foreseeable future, and I don't like wearing a watch. So doing this versus doing this, I'm fine with that. I don't need a watch, so I'm probably not going to get one. The one thing I might get is something like a Nike Fuel Band or something like that. That helps me keep in shape or something like that. But that's kind of what this shirt is designed to do. It's by OMsignals, and it's a wearable T-shirt with knitted electrodes that detects your heart and your breathing rate. So you think you'd be more inclined to wear wearable technology if it's just like putting on a shirt?
I would, if it was purpose-built like this, and only in the location where I would care about that, which would be like working out. If I went to the gym and I wanted to run like this gentleman is doing here, I would likely wear a shirt like that. Although I have a heart rate monitor and it's very uncomfortable in comparison to a shirt because you have to wrap it around your chest. But I feel like it's more accurate, and there's something about me that will say, all right, it's uncomfortable, but I feel like for some reason it's more accurate. Unless it was proven that this is more accurate than an actual heart rate monitor.
It does feel like, my sister has one of those. It's like stuck right there, right above your heart.
Yeah, the sternum area, But the other good news is that you don't actually have to wear the polar watch that goes with it, because it sends like a sonic signal or something like that can be picked up by the treadmills at the gym I go to. So I literally just need to bring that, and it'll keep track of everything I'm doing on the gym, which is awesome. I talk like I go to the gym, guys. I used to go to the gym. I don't freaking go to the gym anymore. I'm actually kind of depressed about that.
I talk about this wearable technology like it's going to help me get in shape. I don't have anything like this, but I'm hoping if I did, it'd be more like a video game and be like, oh, you need to raise your heart rate for the next 10 minutes.
Remember when I bought those boots? I bought those boots because I was like, I'm going to start hiking. Paul's talking about hiking. Hiking's good for you. I'm going to start hiking.
I've been wearing my boots.
I bought these awesome boots that I did this research on, and I freaking have worn them like 4 times, and I've hiked in them once. My sneakers, I left them somewhere.
The good thing about shoes is if you don't use them, they don't wear out, and they're still just as good.
Yes,
here's the next little story. This is about Google Glass, and Google Glass is not available to the public. So this is actually a teardown.com.
Oh, I thought it would be iFixit.
Techinsights.com, but I'm sure it's a similar to iFixit site. But teardown.com did a teardown of Google Glass, and they priced out all of the components. They have a little chart a little bit further down, and they basically just were like, hey, all these components components add up to about $80. So that's the what is it, $1,500 for a Google Glass Explorer, I think, or it might be $1,000. I haven't really checked recently, but actual parts themselves, about $80.
I'm curious, actually. I didn't realize. I've never really looked into the feature set that comes with a Google Glass. I just thought they were fascinating.
Oh yeah.
But never actually looked into it. So I know the battery is a little bit weak, but beyond that, I didn't realize the display was 640 by 360, and I'm betting that based on the distance, you probably can really see those lines between it. But I'm curious what resolution it would have to be at the distance that it currently sits from your eye to make it so that you couldn't see that.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I still have resisted the urge to try a Google Glass on. We have a couple friends. Kane has one, and Vincent from MSI has one.
From MSI, yep.
And I still, I see them, and I have that immediate thing like, oh, let me try that on. But I know, if Kane wears his in public, he says that's all every 10 seconds. And be like, oh, let me try your Google Glass. So I have not said that myself.
Man, that's got to be irritating.
Yeah, that's why he had it at PAX, and he said day 2 he just left it because he couldn't walk from point to point. He would just have people
swarming him.
Let me try the Google Glass. Let me try the Google Glass, which is understandable. I mean, it's new and fancy and everything, but
when you go to places like CES, you see them everywhere, and
yeah, that's true.
Sometimes it just feels like I guess I'm the only one that doesn't have one.
I feel like you're being watched all the time. And one more story here. Again, this is sticking with the wearable technology theme. My little themed sections here. I
like it.
Today.
Oh, that's great.
And this is Microsoft has filed a patent for potentially them creating a smartwatch. And I know I just recently said I don't like smartwatches and I'll probably never wear them, but what the heck, it's a news story. So Microsoft's potentially jumping into the hardware game again. By developing a smartwatch, and then this one again seems to be really geared towards fitness tracking, heart rate, and how long your jog has been, and muscle tone, and
because I remember hearing somewhere that typically the people who have the most time to exercise are typically the ones that are wealthy, because they have the most time, and I should say that I said that in reverse. What I meant to say is typically wealthy are the ones that spend most of the time at the gym because they have all the time in the world to do it. So like the health nuts that are doing it that don't have the money, obviously they can still do that too. I mean, I don't know how accurate it really is, but because I see these things and I realize the price point's not really inexpensive for the most part. I don't know, like $150, $300, like for something like this that's just doing what? Telling me about my fitness. And I'm curious, what price point does it have to be for you guys to want to buy one? Like, does anybody care about this? I'm curious what you guys think.
I feel like 50 to 100.
50 to 100 is good.
Feel like
and that's like the heart rate monitor pricing at that point. So 150 for a really good heart rate monitor, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, what else does it do? Is it just like the Pebble, or is it just monitoring my health? And did someone tell you to poke me on the stream?
No.
Oh.
I was probing to determine muscle tone and skeletal girth. It's a new technique. We mock what we do not understand.
Thank you, Paul. So what does it do? What's so great about it again? Like it just, I don't know.
I'm going to go to Twitch chat and see if anyone understood or if anyone knew where that quote was from.
Okay.
Anybody in here?
Whoa, get that out of here. No?
It's kind of
Ches is just like, it's just like
what the heck
5 minutes over right now, guys. Just end it. That's probably what he's thinking right now.
We're a little over.
No, I'm thinking Twitter Blitz if you don't have any more stories.
No, I got another one I can hit real quick.
Another one.
Yeah.
I've got one more too.
Derp, derp. And you got another one too. All right, so.
It's a feel-good story.
Which one should I do then? I think of mine, then I'll just do one. And
now they're telling me to poke you. PJM got it. PJM 0952.
Oh, okay.
Excellent. Excellent movie.
I'll ask about the reference later.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of research.com, which I don't know the legitimacy of this website, but it has an article by Blue Sky Science. Wow. Okay, I should really vet these stories better.
Death has been solved.
We found, yes, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so this week's issue of Neuroscience Journal, Brain, the name of it I suppose is Brain, carries an unusual image against the background of nerve activity tracing a man while he lies on the ground. So basically this picture is really, really tiny. Can I make it any bigger? That is probably not helping.
Control plus.
Control plus, you're right, yes. Let me do that real quick. Doop, 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 doop. Thank you. Okay, so as I've zoomed in, you guys can take a closer look. Basically what it is this guy looks like he's just doing a couple exercises, right? Well, yes, except that he's using electrodes to power the muscles in his leg because he's been paralyzed. So essentially what's happened is they found a way to mimic leg movement, voluntary leg movement in a way to actually offset a person being paralyzed. And so this electrical stimulation has enabled 4 different paraplegic men to voluntarily move their legs. So they send the transmission. It's a little battery pack inside their body that's receiving it and then transmitting it through the area of the nervous system that's broken.
I think this is something that they've been able to do for some time, is use electrodes to stimulate muscles. It's basically the same thing that your brain does, is it sends an electrical signal, tells a muscle to contract or to relax. Right. But the difference here is that it's actually being tied into their brain signals so that they are voluntarily actually doing this and causing their muscles to move, which is amazing. I mean, for anyone who's living with paralyzed limbs or anything like that, this type of scientific breakthrough is fantastic.
Yeah.
Not to belittle any of this at all, but my mind is twisted sometimes. So I told Steve that my idea was we should
preface it. You preface it you preface the preface with too much information. Now it's got a lot of attention.
Okay, stay with me here, guys. So we have all of these like cadavers, right?
Just laying around.
So we could use this technology to create a horde of zombie.
We as a society have a lot of
zombie army. Is my thought, and control it with the Oculus Rift.
Man, that'd be weird. Because there's going to be one or two that are offset, so I'm going to walk forward, but then 4 or 5 are going to go walk forward in this direction, and then just slowly they're going to peel away until it's just one dead dude walking forward.
So we do like in toys, and we have all these like kids with video games and Oculus Rifts on. They're actually controlling this zombie army, like invading some other country or something like that.
Why don't we just?
I'm sorry. I really honestly apologize to anyone, because this is actually a really cool scientific breakthrough, and I was debating even saying any of that stuff.
What I was going to say was that other than stem cell research, like a more specific way of getting the signal down there as opposed to regrowing the way you can do it, that way would be obviously better with stem cell research. But this was interesting to me. But then to add to your idea of an undead army, why don't we just create like a virus that reanimates the body, and if they bite you, you get the virus, and then you will in turn kill people and bite them, and then it'll just spread, and then we'll just have like the unknown factor of zombies running around.
Isn't that the premise of like all of the zombie movies?
No, some of them is you already have the virus, and it's once you die you become a zombie.
Oh, okay, that's true.
And then others are Resident Evil is the one I always go off of. That's my quintessential zombie movie. I like the original Romero movies, especially like the well, anyways, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I like those. But Resident Evil will, for some reason, always be my favorite for some reason. I like it. I think it's cool. I would die in that world, but I think it's an amazing
I'm glad that the whole time we've been talking about zombies, this like serious professor or something from UCLA has been talking.
I'm so sorry.
Just lending an air of legitimacy to our discussion here. All right, can we do a heartwarming story to end this one? Yes, we can. This is an article from Maximum PC. Mother's Day is coming up this weekend on Sunday, and hopefully you guys all love your moms, or at least I'm trying to be really politically correct all of a sudden, as opposed to my yes. So here's
I love you, man.
Here's an article from Maximum PC, 10 awesome websites to share with mom on Mother's Day, and I thought some of them were kind of fun. So what do we have in here? You gotta go down and there's a previous and next. Okay. So we've got Show Me the Money, Woman 2.0 for like bleh. Oh yeah, Jenny's here.
Hi Jenny, how are you?
Jenny's gonna come say hi. Jenny can go over our Mother's Day, our potential Mother's Day websites. Okay. So
can I just click on it or like?
No, just leave that and we'll scroll through them real quick.
Okay.
So Women 2.0, if your mom wants to do a startup, if your mom's into technology, this is paying heed to a site that recognizes that 30% of tech workers are women, which should go without saying. Cool. We all knew that, right?
Yes.
We have Wine of the Month Club,
My mom would love that.
Jenny's mom would love that.
I think your mom's already on it. Didn't she start it?
Jenny, what? Your mom is the sole proprietor of the Wine of the Month
She loves
Club.
wine.
Which is why I'm promoting it so thoroughly.
Or, if Jenny was going to sign up, it would be Bourbon of the Month Club.
Yes.
Would it be a bourbon of the month?
I don't know. I'm just.
What would it be?
Scotch of the Month Club.
Scotch of the month club. Okay.
Next is the Cooking Mom, and this is not at all to say that all moms cook or that all women cook. Everyone cooks. In fact, I should go to this website and I will also cook the things here. But basically, the idea here is a website for moms who love to cook but might be short on time. Easy breezy recipes for cooking stuff. All
Why
right,
would they be short on time, Paul?
What?
That's so rude
Because
for you
they're
to
so
suggest
busy
that
running their Fortune 500 company, Steve.
Oh, okay.
Of course.
Just want to make sure.
Scrapbook soup, again, not to say that all moms scrapbook, but of course if you're a mom, you probably want to keep recommendations. What?
You don't have to be super PC just
Honestly,
I was
No, keep it going.
As
Keep
I
it
was
going.
looking at these articles, I was
Instigate,
going to
Ches.
say these things whether you were here or not.
If you're a guy who scrapbooks, we want to hear from you.
Oh, yeah.
Please comment in the videos
instigate this.
below.
That's true. TaskRabbit is the next one.
Okay.
And let's
Oh,
get to
have
that.
you ever heard of TaskRabbit?
No, but
TaskRabbit is really cool, and actually, if you're kind of an entrepreneurial person out there, and you want to earn a little extra money on the side, TaskRabbit is a way to go.
you can earn money?
Yeah, you basically you bid for jobs.
Oh.
You put out bids for like tasks, like say a mom who's too busy needs 30 cupcakes delivered to her kid's classroom.
You should totally
She
do
can
this,
bid
Paul.
for it on TaskRabbit.
That happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
Say you need
So
your
I
dog
actually
picked
had
up.
this wrong. I thought this. I was going to say this helps keep track of your tasks, like a to-do list. But no. So this is saying the moms can hire the people who go on TaskRabbit to do tasks and stuff like that.
Everybody
so
on TaskRabbit has had a background check done. So if you are, of babysitting age, TaskRabbit is a great way for people to be able to find your services.
That's
And
good, because
a
when
lot
I was
of
a
other
baby, I
things.
always
Nice.
wanted to get a babysitter for myself.
Yeah.
If I'm of babysitting age. If you have a child of it, I knew what you meant.
Nice.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Next is Deal-Seeking Mom. Web
Which mom?
deals.
Which mom needs to have deals because they're so
shopping, grocery
they're so
deals. Buy stuff for
Shoot.
less money. That one's
I'm not a mom and I need this help.
Yeah, that's what I was actually thinking as I was going through these. Is a lot of these seem like they'd be very helpful for me as well. Next is ha-has for hoo-has, which is
What?
I think this is a humor website. So laughter, obviously, great for stress relief and also just having a good time.
Are we
So
allowed to say hoo-ha?
I just did. So I guess
Oh.
Hold on a second. The phrase here says picking up another human to smell their butt is not only normal, it's necessary.
so you're a mom when.
Yeah.
Okay. But I
Picking
still
up the-
find that phrase just
Okay,
fascinating.
so when you have a small baby, in order to know if they're fresh or not, you have to smell their butt.
Yeah.
Why their butt? Why not just the side of the diaper?
Yeah, let's see.
Because
gotta
it's just
pull the
easier.
flap out.
Like-
You grab them under the arm, you
See.
pick them up, butt to nose, put them down.
That just seems like you are way too close to the firing zone right there. You need to back off, because I know kids are
That's
really
why
juicy.
Being mom
and they
is
just
a very difficult job.
You know,
I like
being
the
a
next
dad,
one,
that
though.
is not a gender-specific role, though. Like,
Oh, I'm gonna do that too.
Oh my god.
Thunder
the
from Down
Thunder
Under,
from
my
Down
mom
Under.
loved this show.
See, Jenny's mom has already vetted all of these sites for us, which means it's a great
My mom
option
lives
for you.
life, man.
When are these
She's out
guys?
there.
When are these guys going to start working out?
I don't know.
This is disgusting. Put a shirt on.
That guy on the left looks kind of like Kyle.
No, he
The
doesn't.
shaved head, dude.
Not even.
Secret Society of Women. I've known this existed for many, many years, but
But it's a
clearly
secret.
this has been confirmed now that there's a secret society of women who plot, I have to assume, plot against men. It's an elite club, and there's a secret society, and
So
they
secret,
can-
we don't even know what they do.
aging, dreams, patenting, recipes, and shopping. And anyway,
Anyway.
and
Okay.
last is Dr. Mommy, which I didn't even get this far actually when I was looking at this article.
Hormone helper smoothie.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
We need to give one of these to
Because
Kyle.
when you need a doctor, go to the internet.
That's right.
Yes.
That's the
Well,
best.
what is it?
best option.
WebMD is like one of the best ones, right?
That's true.
So
Yeah, it tells. Have you ever been on WebMD? Like every single symptom set, you're going to die.
they have to probably legally put it, because if you're going there for your sole input and then
Yeah.
you do die, that's probably the reason why.
Yeah, so they're just covering their butts.
But I do find it
that's,
funny, though.
That's all. So tell all of your moms Happy Mother's Day from Steve.
And
Happy
me.
Mother's Day.
And all of us here at
everybody
Newegg
at
TV. But I think Is that all for this show? Do we have any last minute?
I'll let you guys wrap it up. Thanks
Twitters?
for having me.
Oh yeah, thanks for stopping by, Jenny.
I'm going to go back to playing Infamous Second Son in the other room.
Ooh, that's right.
You guys come join me afterwards.
Yeah, we'll be over there. Jenny's doing a Let's Play in our new little studio area over there, so that'll be on Newegg Arcade. Couple Twitter
things,
questions, I guess. Somebody already made a beat Apple in GIMP.
Oh, that's awesome.
Nice. Thank you, Cole Milne.
That was great.
I thought his name was Cole Mine.
Masked it off all perfect, too.
Red War Cube's asking how the integration of IT and hardware in my house is going. The interrogation of IT and hardware. Is this referencing something I've said in the past that I forgot that I said?
Probably.
Probably.
I say so many things, too.
I thought I was saying integration, and it's going along nicely. Would you pay $100 extra for a GPU and a shiny briefcase and overclock? 295X2OC in particular? No. I would just get... Sometimes it might be worth it to get the slightly more expensive binned GPU versions, like the super overclocked type things, because sometimes those you can achieve more of an overclock for, or it's often useful to buy those if you're going to water cool it, because you probably have more headroom and it seems more worth it to go for the whole water cooling loop. 100 extra bucks for a shiny briefcase, and I'm more...
Packaging.
If I'm paying more money, I want to get more performance, and a shiny briefcase doesn't. That's why the overclocking, I guess, makes a little bit more sense. Brian Walker, you're welcome. I don't know if you're watching right now. Trey's asking, okay. Australia. For us physically to go to Australia, good question.
I would love to do that.
Newegg sells to Australia now in the UK. If you guys can do the drop down on newegg.com and browse those sites. Nothing, this is from Walshy again, by the way. Nothing we've looked at, but yeah, there's a PAX Australia, maybe something like that. Yeah, we should check on that, because that'd be cool.
Yes.
An upgrade question from Z77 to Z97. What brand should I go with? I can't really discuss that right now because they're not out yet. And I mean, I probably could, but I don't want to get myself in trouble with the gray area. A power supply for two R9 290s, you probably would be okay with something. I'd say 850. Go for 850. You'd probably be flying. 850 would probably even have some headroom. No need for 1,000 watts though. That's a bit overkill. Will I get a 1+1? Maybe. This is from Trey TV. Do you want to get a 1+1?
I don't even know what it is.
6, huh?
Yeah, no. I'm gonna compare. Actually, I'm gonna go across the board because Android has been steadily getting better and better and better. I mean, it's some would argue that it's never been less than iPhone. It's just for me, I was picking it for so long, and I've been in the ecosystem for a while now. So it's the only Apple device that I own. I don't have a MacBook Pro or any kind of OS 10 based device in my house. So really, what I'm gonna do is just compare what 6 has. If they're not providing me a damn expansion port for the micro SD so I can get a little bit more memory out of it without paying an additional $100.
That's not going to happen with iPhones.
That's what I think. Or if I can't get a Kickstarter case to like put it in, that's really my main problem with it. I don't have a problem with almost anything else. I would like some of the functionality that Android's been adding across the board, like the higher quality 2K screens and the 4K cameras, or 4K video based cameras. But yes, I would love to be able to get something that I want from Android that outdoes the iPhone 6. I'm okay with that.
I'm engaging in the campaign. Maybe you guys can help the campaign to help Steve switch from his iPhone. But either way, I think you'll be happy, Steve.
I think so. I think there'll be a
you'll
way
make
to
it work.
Yeah.
James or TJ, that's awesome. Thank you for posting this picture. There's another multi-monitor setup with us going on all of the monitors.
Oh, that's
You guys have some really sweet monitor setups. These are
seriously.
That's better than what I have. I like that. It's triple on the bottom and then a larger one on top.
So you can game on all three and have something up there.
And have something up there, or sit back and watch a movie. Nice setup, James.
Yeah,
excellent.
Very, very clean.
Somebody said, "Holy crap," and that's cool. Yeah. All right, I think that's about caught us up, and we're over time anyway for today.
You said something about, did you mention this one too, about the RG monitor from Sebastian?
Should I buy the RG monitor with this 1440p G-Sync? Yes.
I like it. I think it's going to be sweet. In fact, I'm going to mess around a little bit more with the 4K setup system we have in the other room, and I'm willing to bet it's not going to be as good as the super buttery smoothness that I'm going to get here, because even at 4K, I'm still looking at 60 hertz.
Yep.
And that's just, for me, being on 144 hertz, it's been not worth it to go to anything else.
Steve's all about the high refresh rate. I like the concept of that monitor though, because it's not fully 4K, so you're not going to need like crazy GPU setup in order to run it. G-Sync 1440
G-Sync is offsetting most of that anyways.
Seems like a really good option.
Yeah.
I don't think that's not out yet, right? They're still waiting on it.
No, I don't remember how much
Do we have any idea what the price point's going to be?
I want to say last I heard it was like $500 to $600, and then it was like mid to late Q2 is the release date. So
yeah, I feel like it's in the $400 to $600 range should be a compelling option. It can't go too much more expensive than that though, because then you really start to get competition from like the UD590 Samsung, or is it UH5?
I don't know.
Too many model numbers. I know it's a 590. That's the Samsung 4K 28-inch monitor behind us. Yes, Ches, we'll end it.
Yes, sorry. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I also wanted to give one more shout out to PC Perspective and letting me join you guys for that LAN. It was awesome, and definitely keep an eye out for more. Fragging Frogs were awesome. Lenny, you guys were awesome. Epic Games was there. It was sick. Anyways, so thank you guys so much, and thank you guys that are currently here viewing us for watching. I hope we can definitely play some more games sometime in the future. But other than that, Paul, what else do you want to say?
Send a shroud out to Linus for us.
A shroud out?
Yeah, Linus, shroud out.
Hashtag shroud out?
Hashtag shroud out. I don't know, I want to see if I can get that going.
Okay, cool. Got it going.
For that. All right, cool. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you next week. We got another, what do we have?
2 yokes, Q&A.
Yoked on Tuesday and Thursday, Q&A on Wednesday, another live stream on Friday, and we're gearing up for Computex, I think.
Oh man, yeah, it's gonna be nuts. All right, well,
that's all though. All right,
we'll see you guys very soon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.